In a world where everything feels temporary, fast fading, it's easy to think that nothing matters much. But here's the thing, it's in the little things, the daily acts, the consistent moments that really matter. Consistency becomes a hero. Consistency becomes the heartbeat, and that's what today's story is all about. Welcome to this channel, the place where we celebrate the everyday heroes of life. This is the story of Thomas Miller, the mailman. Our story begins in 1979. America, that was the year the Vietnam War had ended 2 years earlier. The country was in the throes of disco, and in that setting, in that backdrop, Thomas Miller joined the United States Postal Service. Now, Thomas wasn't any ordinary young man. He was a veteran. He had served in Korea. He was back home and looking for something solid, something meaningful, something like a steady job, a friendly neighborhood. So when he got the job at the post office, he took it and ran with it. The first day at work, he was given a worn leather bag, one that seemed heavier than he was used to carrying. He was given a uniform that hung loosely on his sturdy frame, and he was given a map and a list of addresses. Thomas looked at the sprawling route and thought to himself, "That's a lot of people." And he was right. There were houses, trailers, farms. The route went around the bend of the river and looped through the heart of the old town. In total, Thomas had to deliver over 600 letters and packages. But he wasn't scared. See, Thomas believed in 3 things: service, responsibility, and integrity. And all 3 of these things came together in his new job. Every letter he held wasn't just a piece of paper or cardboard. It was someone's message. Maybe it was a birthday card, maybe a bill, maybe a letter from far-off relatives. Each one was a thread in the quilt of someone's life, and he promised himself he wouldn't let anyone down. And so Thomas began his work. He woke up early, ate breakfast with the quiet hum of seriousness, put on the uniform with respect, and set out every morning at precisely 7:15 a.m. He was the kind of guy who wore the same shirt every day. It was a blue short-sleeved one, and he wore it until it faded and thinned. The mail truck he drove was as old as he was, painted a sky blue that matched the summer sky. He knew his route inside out. The best route to avoid traffic. The fastest way to reach the post office. Which house had dogs? Which house had children waiting? Which house had an elderly lady who liked to chat? But what mattered most was how he treated every stop, every knock, every wave. He remembered birthdays. He consoled grieving families. He helped anyone who needed a hand. For Thomas, being a mailman wasn't just a job, it was a commitment. And commitments weren't just words. They were actions, consistent, reliable actions that spoke louder than any slogan or promise. He believed in showing up, not just when it was convenient, but when it mattered. Summers were hot and humid, winters were cold and snowy, spring brought mud and leaves, and fall brought rain. But Thomas showed up every day. He didn't call in sick, he didn't complain, he didn't ask for more. He just showed up. And slowly, imperceptibly, Thomas became the heartbeat of the town. Children grew up with the rhythm of his footsteps. Teenagers would wait nervously for letters. Old folks looked forward to his waves. He became a fixture, a part of the landscape, a part of their lives. He was the one who brought the news, the bills, the invitations. He was the one who marked the passing of time, the changing of seasons, the pulse of their community. Over the years, he saw seasons change, leaves turn, flowers bloom. He watched families grow, careers change, lives unfold. He was a silent observer, a faithful messenger, the keeper of their secrets, dreams, and fears. People named their children after him. Jokes about the mailman became local legends, and whenever he heard them, he would chuckle and shake his head. But it wasn't just the work that defined him. It was also the person he was, humble, sincere, honest. He was the kind of guy who, if he promised to bring something tomorrow, you knew it would be there. No excuses, no delays. He was the epitome of dependability. In fact, one day a woman sent a letter. It was an important letter. She put it in the mailbox, but the next day it wasn't there. She called the post office. The post office investigated, but nobody could find the letter. It was gone, and she was worried because that letter held memories of a lifetime. She went to see the postmaster, tears in her eyes, explaining the importance of that letter. The postmaster was sorry, but he couldn't do anything. The letter was lost. But when he told Thomas about it, something changed. Thomas dug deeper into his bag, pulled out an envelope, and laid it on the counter. "This isn't my route," he said, "but I'm going to check anyway." He did, and to everyone's surprise, he found the letter. He returned it to the woman, who hugged him, thanking him profusely. "How did you find it?" she asked. He shrugged, pointing at his heart. It didn't feel right to lose something so important, and that's who he was. Years flew by. The town grew, changed, evolved. New houses sprang up, old ones were renovated, streets were widened, roads were repaired. But through it all, Thomas remained constant. The steady beat of his footsteps echoed through the town, a reassuring melody that never faded. As the town grew older, so did he. His hair turned silver. His face bore the lines of time. His shoulders stooped. His hands gnarled. But his spirit never did. It was as strong and resilient as the oak tree at the center of town. In the final years of his career, people started to notice a new generation, born and raised in the town. They started to wonder, why did their parents wait for the mail so religiously? Who was this man who played such a big role in their lives? They began asking questions, and the answers surprised them. They learned about a man who showed up every day. They saw pictures of him with children holding lollipops. They read letters of appreciation pinned on the community board, and bit by bit, they understood when Thomas finally retired, the entire town gathered for him. They had parties in his honor, gave him gifts, shared stories. But the greatest gift was their love, their respect, their gratitude. For they understood that he had woven himself into the fabric of their lives. He wasn't just a mailman, he was a part of their community. He was their heartbeat, and even today his story echoes through the town, reminding everyone that true greatness often lies in the smallest, most consistent acts. You don't need to change the world overnight. You just need to show up every day and do your best. That was Thomas's lesson to them. So, do you know a Thomas Miller in your life? Someone who shows up every day, someone who does their job with excellence, someone who makes a difference in your life. Share your thoughts with us. We love hearing about unsung heroes. And if you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to share 4 more tales of everyday heroes. Until next time, keep showing up. Keep doing your best. Be the heartbeat of someone's life. And remember, consistency is not just a habit. It's a hero's journey. Thank you for tuning in and joining us on our channel. If you found inspiration in today's story, don't forget to hit the like button below. Your support means everything to us. Subscribe now and stay updated on our latest stories. We've got more amazing tales waiting to inspire you. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep believing in the power of consistency.